There we go. I was muted. Are we live? Of course we're live. People, Deluded. I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and of course good night, depending on wherever you guys are, you know. And I hope you're all enjoying this weekend. I hope you're doing well and safe. Hope that's off the back of having a promising week last week where you moved that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and overcoming any hardships you guys have, you know. And as usual, wishing you lot good health. Now, appreciate everyone who was in my watch along for the Manchester City game, people, where we obviously just saw Manchester City, you know, deal with Man United really and truly. And there's probably a bag of question marks for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that's going to face him, people. So, yeah. And I know throughout the last 24 hours, we've been linked with Vlahovic. You know, apparently we've agreed a deal to be done in January. We'll offer our opinions on that. Please let me know your opinions. Please give me 30 seconds, people. I'm still here. But again, you know, I have to make sure the video that we was just part of everything's well. And obviously, you know, you'll always see videos at the end of my videos. So, yeah, someone's got to make sure they're actually there for a reason and actually funnel the traffic back over here, people, which is what I'm doing now. Like, well, I can't show you lot for data protection purposes, but yeah, I'm putting the tags in. Well, not tags, sorry. You know, when I'm pretty sure on some of my videos, see in the corner pop up about another video. That's exactly what we're doing. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. Big up you lot. Please, the 48 of you that are locked in already, hit the like button. Let me know your opinions on Vlahovic. What have you seen of him? Is he a striker you lot wanted? Is he top of the list? Considering it's in January, is it the right decision Arsenal Football Club have made or are making to go for a striker? I know on the balance of things, Lacazette's future, the couple of the young players might leave permanently where Eddie's concerned on loan for Balogun. You know, it makes sense, but wouldn't you reckon if there's any area we need to address in the January market, it needs to be a midfield, considering the injury to Xhaka, considering the possibilities of other injuries, considering as well potentially that there's AFCON, and also considering we're playing a dangerous game, innit? We're only a Partey injury away from a crisis, essentially, people. So it is what it is where that's concerned, people. Like I said, one love to everybody that's tuned in. Before I go over the media talk and whatnot, what are you lot saying in relation to this move, people? Now, one love to everyone. Run up the likes, as my man has said. Big up yourself, one Prince, Teddy. Appreciate everyone. Come on, my guy. 80 million, yeah, man. You know, it's the euro sign, but that's about 60 million quid, 70 million quid. Well, let's not get hung up on specifics, but, you know, I'll put the euro sign just for you technical guys. You know, you must be fun at parties. There it is. Oh, I literally, why is it not coming up? You make the euro sign come up on a Mac. There it is. A bit awkward, but here we have it. There we have it. There we have it. And while we're here, actually, why isn't my information in this live stream? Like, why isn't it there? Place that there, man. There is what it is, man. I hope you're all right now, man. Hope you're all right now. But yeah, man, moving away from any of this. Is this from a reliable source? Well, Marzio said it, in it. So make of that what you will. Personally, I think the agents are having us on. I'll get into it in a second, but I just want to I've done enough talking in Watch Your Logs. I just want to see what you lot say. Jessica, I've missed you lot as well, man. I appreciate you lot and you lot support each and every time, man. I'm saying Vlahovic is class. You know, again, you lot are talking about United. Striker is not a bad option, to be fair, but the midfield is priority. Apparently, he wants to go to Juventus, so we have no chance of getting him. something I allude to as well. Yes, DG, we need to make 2 January signings, a centre mid and a striker. Best of both worlds. And considering whether we had a chance or not, we have to acknowledge that maybe something tipped the balance for the club, but we tried to get Locatelli, so that must mean we know we need a midfielder. Someone wants to look for a midfielder. The amount of strikers that we allegedly explored last season, obviously, it's intertwined with what we could have done with moving on Eddie, which for personal terms purposes, it didn't go to Palace, and more so Lacazette, where it is what it is. You're going to need to probably, keep him for the season, and Lacazette probably isn't going to be moved on. So it makes sense. Centre mid and a striker. Again, we're not necessarily scoring that amount of goals, and we don't necessarily have them talisman that are playing to that level. Obviously, Aubameyang's found his somewhat form, and Lacazette's doing all right. I can't lie. If someone offered me 2 centre midfielders and no striker until the summer, I'll take that, to be fair with you, versus a striker and a centre mid. Hope there's players leaving if we're really going to spend 80 million euros on a striker. There must be, man. Again, I don't know if Leno's going to leave, but it does feel like a lot of futures things tip the balance. And I don't know how much we're prepared for this outlay, considering we need to move players on, but it is what it is. 72 million, no clue how it works out in pounds. For once, the club is acting proactive in terms of signing a hot prospect on the market. Now, maybe too little, too late. Maybe the agent's having us on and whatnot, man. But it is what it is. Watched him last week, watched him a few times. Good plan B. I like him, but I wouldn't for that price. Get in the Champions League this season and sign Haaland for the same P. If only it was that. So we got no chance of Haaland. Vlahovic is very good in the eye test, but his state don't scream 80 million and is a bit of a penalty merchant. Bit harsh, but fair play. Interesting comments. Keep them coming. Deluded, a DM is needed for the January sales. I don't know if we need another defensive mid. I'd prefer an 8, but I get you in terms of depth. Bless DG, we should go for a centre mid first. He's got all the attributes except pace. I don't think he's slow. He's not a slouch, but I hear you, man. Vlahovic is just what we need. Offers something different. We want a striker who can bully defenders, and can win aerial battles. Which is that? 21 years of age, there's resale value. Zachariah and Alwa, then we're serious. I don't necessarily think we need Zachariah, but fair play. So it correlates to around 61 million in pounds. That's not the worst, man, really and truly. I appreciate the conversion. Interesting comments, man. Interesting comments. Arsenal versus Juventus, Locatelli 2.0. Personally, I think they're having us on, innit. Keep your opinions coming in, folks. But yeah, let's get down to the to the seriousness of it and everything that's in it. Hit the like button if you haven't. Now, if you don't know, Arsenal have been linked with Vlahovic, whether it's going to happen or not. Personally, my own opinions is I don't think we're going to sign him. I think the agent is having us on and we're being used to gauge interest elsewhere. I don't think it's going to happen in January, personally, because obviously if he's contracted until 2023, in the summer, you're going to probably have to take less. But right now, I'm sure, if I'm Florentino, I might accept 10, 15 million or maybe even more less, considering I can keep him from now till January. I mean, now till summer, depending on whatever we're challenging for in the league or what we're trying to do. Then sell him, then we move. Because think about it, January is a difficult time for doing business. No one really, even squad players, no one really, it's only the squad players that are really moved on. I know there's exceptions to the rule, and definitely where Arsenal's concerned, we bought Aubameyang in January. So it could happen. But for me, we might have to move on a couple players before we commit to this. Florentino, we're going to have to bring in a striker to replace it. And again, mid-season, how many goals has he scored this year? How many goals to points correlation is there? You've got to strip him out. So they need to go for one. So other clubs are going to know that their next replacements for Vlahovic, other clubs are going to know you're looking for a striker. The price is going to go up. It's already like that. Because in January, people don't want to sell players. The players that are available are squad players, and people that want to buy seem to be at loggerheads, isn't it? No one wants to sell, so you have to make it worth their while. If they want to let him go, then they want to let him go, really and truly. I think his agent is having us on, gauging interest, and we'll see truly what's going to happen. I think you might see something happen in the summer. Juventus need a striker. They cry about needing a striker. Apparently, his preference is Juventus. So it just screams like the agent having us on, whether that's having Arsenal on to extort Juventus or any prospective buyers. We got to keep the door open to signing the new deal and still leaving, or maybe if Arsenal are genuinely interested. But I don't see this. I don't see this one happening. I got my mouse. I plugged my mouse in. Shout out to me, but this is gonna make this hella easier, people. So yeah, if we share the screen, shout out my mouse. Always feels weird to use this plugged in one on the Mac than here, but Fair play. Obviously, if I share the screen with you guys, hit the like button if you haven't already, and make sure you're here for the watch along tomorrow. Let's zoom out a bit as well because it's kind of mad. But yeah, Arsenal looking to sign Vlahovic, but the player's agent could delay while awaiting other big offers. As you lot can see here, people, I hope you can. I'll just read it out because I can't see if we zoom it forward anymore. Fiorentina have met with Arsenal to discuss Dusan Vlahovic. The Italian club directors, Bonan and Prada, were in London over recent days to gauge the interest of the Gunners. Arsenal want to bring the striker to the Emirates in January and are willing to pay the price to do so. Fiorentina's asking price is a base fee of 80 million euros, and Arsenal are open to a fee that reaches that amount with several bonuses inserted. So is there something we can do around potentially offering Torreira? Obviously, we can commit to a fee like that as we did with Pepe and things like that. So it's something that could be done. It seems like it makes sense. Arsenal obviously have a need to buy a striker. Fiorentina at some way along the lines are going to need a buyer. It seems like this is the Juventus number one choice. But again, a team like Juventus, unless it's Messi, Neymar and things, you need to have several options. I like how the guy plays. At 21, he moves significantly more experience. So he ties in with what we're trying to do. There's resale value. You have a long-term striker. He knows that there's a variety of goals. He's not the quickest, but he's not the slowest. He's a quick thinker in the box. He's a good taker of chances. He's a good player from what I see. Again, the question marks will remain at 21. Is this just a purple patch or can you maintain it? Which he's shown so far it's not. Can he play in England? What's his temperament like? I think at 21 years of age, being a Serbian or Serbian descent, to be thriving in another country, I think it speaks volumes of your mentality and your character. So I don't think he has anything to say here. Obviously, we could have us and Fiorentina could want to get a move done, but agent fees and the things that get added into it could make it a myth, people, an absolute myth. Apparently, while the club seem to have found the outlines of an agreement, there is not yet an agreement with the player and his agents, with distance still between the sides at the moment. There are signs that Vlahovic will want to wait to consider even bigger offers, patiently waiting until June to accept one again. So it's using Arsenal's interest. And just because Arsenal are interested in January and are trying to make a move now, doesn't mean things can't be agreed for now until the summer, whether that's publicly when we see come out that someone's going to leave in the summer, or it's one of them ones in the background. And that's probably what it is. And for Vlahovic, if you want to sign for Arsenal, I'll take you. But for me, I would sit on my hands, keep playing well, just keep playing well. Again, you're in the season, you don't owe Fiorentina nothing, but if you're in a good run of form, you're playing well and stuff, you don't want to mess that up. Moving to another league, adapting, especially mid-season, could do that, and obviously all the things that you need to do off the field. For me, I would like to review my situation in the summer. It seems like from everything he read, he seems like he wants to do that for Fiorentina. And realistically, as much as I think there's a reason to sign for Arsenal with what we're doing, you could play for managers, you're linked with Juventus, you're linked with this club and that club. You can play for clubs that are in Europe, clubs that can offer you a lot more finances and better sporting projects. With respect to Arteta, and one love for making 100 games tomorrow, there's bigger management standards. It appears that Man City had the opportunity to go and grab him in the summer. They didn't do it. I don't know if they're going to go and do that again. Juventus seem to be struggling financially. I don't know if that's changed. Spurs have been linked with him. So I personally think us and Spurs were neck and neck, prestigious wise. We're a better club than them. We've won trophies more than them and all these things, even of recent. They've got Conte now. If Nuno's there, I don't think there's a contest. They've got Nuno now. So there's that Italian. Obviously, he's playing in Italy. Italian, that who Conte is. You get that in. Patrizzi might be gassing him as well. He's also worked with Juventus. So I don't know. I'm just banking on the fact that we must know how they want to work and stuff and how they like to figure up deals, because we let Fiorentina go there. And Fiorentina are allegedly looking at Berardi as a replacement, people. So it seems very agent-led. It seems we can agree a fee as much as we want with the club, but the player has got to want to sign for us. And it appears that maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. It looks like he wants to sit on his hands. If we look at some of the other articles that are reporting this and see if we can find any inconsistencies or consistencies, Arsenal reach agreement over 68 Dusan Vlahovic transfer after talks with Fiorentina, but the striker's not convinced. Arsenal are willing to match Fiorentina's 68 asking price for Dusan Vlahovic in January, according to reports, but the Serbian wants to wait for a better offer. He's become hot property last season. He bagged 21 times, and obviously he's picked up where he left off. I was watching the game. He scored a hat trick, the other day, and I'm sure he scored a free kick of note. He's got 12 goals. In 12 appearances, he's got 10. So the 21-year-old's picked up where he's left off. He's got 18 months on his contract. So the 6'3" striker is going to have interest from everyone. And, quality strikers are a rare breed. You're not seeing too much money correlated to the quality of strikers. So it is what it is. Apparently, Vlahovic and his representatives aren't convinced that a move to Arsenal will best serve him. If he doesn't think this is the best platform, then fair play. If he believes that, all right, cool, I've done my little hard grounding now at Fiorentina and I'm ready to play for a bigger contract somewhere else, or I'm ready to be in a bigger sporting environment or a team that's fighting for trophies, then fair play. As much as we need to accept where Arsenal Football Club are, if he genuinely doesn't want to sign for this club and we've agreed an offer, great player, keep it moving. All right, that's the territory Arsenal are in. We're not playing Champions League football. We're not, we ain't got a mad manager like that. We ain't got a crazy 11. We need to earn these rights in football. So this is the territory that comes with it. Man, don't really want to sign for you. There's plenty of signings we've made and can make because we're relying on Arsenal's pass, but we don't have a divine right. So if the man don't want to sign for us, as much as I understand it, bro, all right, cool. Anyone that thinks they're doing this club a favor, as good as he is, keep it moving. There has to be other targets. We've been linked with this guy. I can't lie, I would prefer him over Isaac based on what I've seen, But there's Isaac, there's this guy, number one target be Karim Adeyemi. Got to get a move on. PSG and Real Madrid are into him as well as onto him as well as Dortmund and Bayern Munich. But there's other guys. He's a terrific striker, man. But if Spurs can grab him, we've got a chance, in my opinion. But my opinion is not necessarily a fact, people. He's been compared to Haaland. Why Florentina striker could snub Arsenal? Let's go down and see what my man has said in this article. Arsenal are ready to push to make a move for Florentina striker Dusan Vlahovic in January, but the Serbian could snub the pushy Londoners and send them back to the orderly queue of European giants. According to Sky Italia, we've made Vlahovic a priority in the market, and we all know about the 80 million price tag. He's impressed, and he's currently one of the best strikers. Even Bayern Munich, Lewandowski's not going to be there forever. One, because of his age, as great as he's playing, and two, he's clearly getting cold feet. So between Haaland and Vlahovic, you need to try and grab one of them people. And it clears that, money isn't his biggest motivation necessarily, people. He's already turned down a bumper new deal worth 4 million a season at his current club. We'd offer him a bit more. And we know maybe Arsenal are interested, but not as interested or at the level of making a bid. And people are just leveraging the fact that there's uncertainties over our strikers and we need a striker. And it is what it is. Apparently, he's not in a hurry to do anything, as you shouldn't be, people. And apparently, Florentina and the Serbians agents are not on good terms after recent negotiations. It does feel like he's got one of them agents that, I'm acting for you, but I'm a bit of a rogue sort of guy, people. So it is what it is, people. It doesn't seem like we have a chance. So it's a bit of a myth, people. Atletico interested, Tottenham interested, Juventus interested. It is what it is, people. And apparently, staying in Italy would be a safer choice for the youngster who has established himself in Serie A, and he's joined from a good academy in Partizan. Apparently, Juventus are prepared to enter negotiations with them, obviously, and are hoping to find an agreement similar to the one where they agreed for Chiesa. So does that mean he initially moves on loan with an option to buy and they get around the finances in that regards? I don't know. They would need to spend at least 70 million euros to get it. And then again, if he wants, so whether it's Arsenal being able to offer him Champions League and Europe and all them things and sporting project, or if he wants to stay in Italy, Napoli, Roma. I'm not sure if Roma with Jose at this moment in time is the best club to sign for, but it is what it is. Please make sure you're hitting the like button as well while we're speaking, people. I appreciate you lot locked in. 68 likes and there's 100 odd of you, so we can do a bit better in that regard. So yeah, man. Obviously, he's doing his thing, and I'm sure he'll get the chance to express himself when Juventus take on Fiorentina on Saturday, which I think is today. So yeah, he'll get a chance to impress the visiting scouts and whatnot if it is there. I'm trying to find. There was another thing I saw in relation to this, people. His camp want to wait, so that means that one is dead. Where is it gone, man? What was it? Who had it? Let me think. It was some Juventus account. Juventus. Let me just type in Donny's name, man, and I'll try to find that, people, for you guys. But yeah, man, that's that where Vlahovic, at least online, is concerned. That was Forever Italia. Let's see what else is going on. Apparently, he wants Juventus switch. Liverpool have been linked with him as well. Apparently, Allegri's admitted being a fan of him. Apparently Allegri has said he's a strong player. You can see it from his goals. However, he is a Florentina player, and we have great defenders, so I'm calm. So he's been talking up his abilities. So yeah, he's been linked with Athletic. It appears that obviously money, finances, and the willingness to bend around around these things makes a difference. But Arsenal will be in a firm fight, and it doesn't look like he's in any rush to sort out his future. Definitely not where January is concerned, people. And maybe Florentina, because they might say, okay, we'll keep him because he helps us with what we're doing in our season. But they might say, boy, we might not get a better offer in the summer. People might just say, you know what, he's only 21. We'll sit on our hands until next January. If he shows he can do it again, fair play, we'll move for him. If he shows he's not levels and the 2 seasons he's done it, he's gone for a wobble, we might sit on our hands and we'll just collect him on a free, or we'll take our money elsewhere and do other things. So Florentina have a decision to make, people. What do you lot make of that move as well, people? For what it's worth, please let me know. Just Vlahovic stuff. He's a terrific player at 21 years of age, man. But I can't see it happening, man. What we need to do is go to teams like Partizan and grab. I know there's work permit factors, but grab him before he gets there. Then you've already got it, really and truly. I know it's not always as simple as that, but you get the point in it, people. Can we get these guys before? You either moved for them before they join these clubs, or you sign these players from these clubs before they have them purple patches. Like, it's a myth going for him now. You probably could have done it last year, whether we could or couldn't have. It's a myth going for Karim Adeyemi now. When these guys go through that Tuchel mania as well, probably could have grabbed him at Bordeaux. When these guys go through them ones, they play so well where they can't be ignored in world football. That's when Arsenal stop having a chance, people. That's when the opportunity starts to evade us. So it is where that's concerned. I found the Twitter account that was talking about it, but I need to scroll. I'm trying to just scroll down on their timeline and see if we can find something, man. But yeah, I'll find that for you, people. Apparently, Juventus have chosen Dusan Vlahovic. The option to buy on Morata will not be used. So again, they're just pressuring us, like how the Locatelli was doing. Like, oh man, he might actually not be going Juventus. Arsenal might be interested. We're being conned again, but in my opinion, by the Italian press, man. They're just running our number. I do think there's some interest in Arsenal, from Arsenal, but I don't know, people. Apparently, when let me send this to myself. Well, let me just say it. It's called Bunakeri Zone. Apparently people close to Florentina, an agent called Romeo Agresti has said, people close to Florentina have told me that a price has already been set for Vlahovic. They want to sell him in January. Florentina have no intention at the moment to talk with Juventus. They want to sell him this winter. So maybe they're on selling him. They're just not on selling him to Juventus, where if he wants Juventus or someone else, it's a myth. Inter could look to move. I don't know if their financial things have improved, but they did lose Lukaku. There's things that could go on there. Apparently, the first request from Florentina for Vlahovic, they're looking for the auction effect in January, with mainly eyes from the Premier League. So again, we're being used, man. We're being used, people. And apparently, Tottenham are also onto it for them. I think it's a myth, man. I'm not too sure this is a myth, man. So yeah, man, that's that, man. Enough talking about this guy, Carl. While I would like him to sign, if he signs, he signs. If he don't, he don't, in it. So it is what it is. Hit the like button, people. General Arsenal thoughts. So that's where that's concerned, people. Again, what else you lot saying? Because again, that was a long one to go. It was initially reported by Marzio. You're right. Norwich just scored. I wonder what's going on where the Prem's concerned. Vlahovic, just what we need. Offer something different. We need a striker who can bully defenders and who can win aerial battles. Trust King, I think, is cap as well. You know, I think just beyond being a talking point here, that's done. Still think we need a centre mid first. I'm of that agreement as well, but I can't say if the club did sign a striker, I'd be unhappy because goals win games. We've been doing all right there. I can't really say we ain't been scoring goals of recent, but I don't really feel we have enough players with X factor, enough match winners. We're not consistent at doing that as well. So yeah, man, I'm all for. I want Arsenal to look after the base of the team, but I do want us to get a couple more players that can be talisman or individual brilliance. I know we can't get out there and grab Ronaldo. And I know Ronaldo, we're not going to sign a player like that. But even Ronaldo, look what he's doing for United. You take away some of his goals. How many points are there? We need a couple more match winners. I'm sure there's been a couple times Liverpool are playing great through their own back. But how many times have you seen they might be looking a bit shaky? Salah might do something for them. I don't think we have a player that's definitely able to do that for us. So, yeah, man, beyond the obvious, that's what I'm on, man. Isaac will bring the pace and goal threat of Alba as well as the link up player. I don't know. I think people overrate Isak in the sense of I think he's a very good player. I think he's on his upward trajectory. I'd undoubtedly take him. But what I mean by overrate is that he's got a high level as a footballer, but he's not currently there where people put him, and then they'll act surprised, really and truly. Vlahovic is decent, but for me, he's way too one-footed. Seen him use his left when it was much easier to use his right. He can improve on that. There's no reason he can't be a top player. Oh. Either way with that Serbian, asking if a Serbian and Albanian. Listen, we're not here to do the cultural thing, talking about football, man. They use Arsenal name for anything. People don't want to come here. Arsenal, just move on. I like him. I don't know if he fits our style of play because not sure what our style of play is, but he's good. I watched Isaac in Aria. I really like this guy will become one of the best in the future. He will. I think that's where we need to. To be honest, I don't want Isaac at all. I don't think he'll bag 20 goals. I think he needs to. There's a lot to develop with him. I don't think he's going to sign for Arsenal. Isaac would sign for us and he's bagging goals straight away. I think Vlahovic has more of an opportunity of doing that. But I do think Isaac can be a good player, man. Torreira could be included in the deal. Would love it, man. We need to come off this installments thing. We end up paying way over the odds. It's bad business. Vlahovic or Isaac Deluded. I've seen more of Isaac like throughout the years, but I like this Vlahovic brother. But for me, I need to know if you can keep doing this. And obviously, with all the signings, I don't know if you can do it in this league. And I'm saying that is, do I know if Isaac can? I would love it. I would love Vlahovic, but our last 6 signings have been below like 23. When do we start bringing in some prime players? I mean, I would like it to be the case, but I mean, if he's good, in it. I'm not saying he's Kylian Mbappe, but Kylian's a young thug. He's an exception to the rule thing. But at the same time, I hear you. We do need a couple of them. Vlahovic is more clinical than Isak. Yeah, he's more hungry for goals. Isak potentially got more variety in the runs he makes in that. I do think Vlahovic needs a lot of goals created for him, but same way I've seen him involved in a lot of his goals in the build-up play. And he's very proactive. He's a very active thinker, man. So, yeah, man, I think he's going to be set for where he goes, man. But I don't know at 21 years of age if you're in any rush, he might be settled in his newfound home in Italy. The Jovic signing in January may be best in terms of risk to reward. I wouldn't mind Jovic, but I'm not really on it. Like if you could, he's one of them that you never know. He could excel expectations if you was to sign him. He looks a bit like damaged goods. Give him a bit of confidence. Maybe you'll get the Jovic that was having a purple patch at Frankfurt. But I can't lie, when you watch a lot of his goals, I can't remember the player. Pardon me, but it's like Jovic was being like a lot of the goals had to be discounted because they're kind of being created in the same sort of way. They weren't really. I can't explain it, but what player was it? There was a player assisting or being involved in the build-up play, and it made me think if he goes, is obviously Jovic going to score? I think Jovic needs a bit of confidence. He ties into what we're doing, so I wouldn't mind it. And he looks like damaged goods. If you get a below for Real Madrid, you get a below par a permanent fee, like I don't know, similar to Odegaard for 30 million euros, and he comes here and he starts banging, then obviously we're doing what we can do. But I don't think we're gonna sign too many. We can't sign these strikers, in my opinion, that are the finished products. We ain't got the piece for that. Unless we do the scouting thing, I don't think we're gonna ever be able to grab them. I was skeptical on the Lautaro Martinez links. This is what I'm saying. Italy been conning us Arsenal fans, Lautaro Martinez. this guy, that guy. But then again, we did get Tomiyasu, so we have to be watching the league. We have to be seeing what's going on. Naturally, if we was doing scouting on Tomiyasu, you must have come across 1-2 strikers in Italy that must be decent. If I'm watching a young centre half in England, I'm gonna know about certain strikers because he's playing against them 9 times out of 10. So hopefully we did a thing, but I don't know. What I hope is that there's a list of targets, because from the moment I said it on YouTube, then and I say it now, from the moment you decided you're giving Aubameyang a new deal, you need to know you're finding the next man, because he's doing it for 3 years max. Hopefully these players can help us now in the present, but we need players that, help us in the future, but we need players that can help us in the present, that sets up that future. So we needed to know if Aubameyang stops scoring goals, who is that? It only became an issue when you suddenly Aubameyang's not scoring 20 plus goals. Fix problems before they become problems, in my opinion. Like, all right, cool, you've signed Lokonga. Lokonga's your party guy at this moment in time. So yeah, and it's one of them. Let's be a bit proactive. So I hope there's several targets. If you can't get Isaac, Karim Adeyemi, Vlahovic, this guy, that guy, there's a next one. We've been linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. Again, that's going to cost a pretty penny as well. Oh, I don't know, folks. I don't know. I'll leave you lot to draw your own conclusions. Need striker the most as of now. Last peak. I don't know if we need a striker the most. I think we need a midfielder more than we need it currently. I think I would be a lot happier, and I think we need a midfielder more than a striker. But it kind of ties into the spine of the team. When we was playing poor, now we're scoring goals. People are doing all right. There's not really a big emphasis on it. The price is too mad. Vlahovic is a Cavani type player. Interesting comments, man. Interesting comments all the way, folks. Hit the like button if you haven't already, people. Only at 194. What's all of this about? Versus one of them ones, man. So we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. Hit the like button if you haven't, or unexpected high bills due. DG, I think what you're saying is try what about Jovic doesn't look the same without Seb Hallier next to him. Not sure if we can create. I don't know. It weren't that. There was a guy that was laying a lot of chances on the plate for him. It's like Memphis Depay going to United. My brethren told me it wasn't gonna bang. He was like, go and watch all the goals he scores, and all the goals he was scoring at the time, you had to discount them. And then you start seeing them. It's like Lacazette. When Lacazette signed, you could see via the statistics he weren't going to score that much goals in England. So I hope we've done our due diligence, man. It's funny, man. Rate Isaac more than Vlahovic, and Isaac hasn't done anything. I mean, Isaac had the luxury of playing at the Euros, and I can't lie, people were capping. No, he's had some good bits of play, but at the Euros, the one thing he got a lot of clout for, he's taken a shot. It's deflected off a Spain man and gone in, and people were saying, "Oh my God, what a performance!" It's like, hang on now, what's that? They said 80 millions with bonuses. If they are bonuses for goals, I don't mind a 20 mil bonus, but base should be 60 million max. Laka will leave in jam for penny, so we need a striker, in my opinion. I don't think we're going to let Lacazette go. It's a legit conversation, and it's one we should be open to. But if you can't bring someone in, you might as well. You're at that point now. You might as well just let Laka go. I mean, let Laka go in the summer, because if you're not going to bring someone in, people can say go and get some money, but then you're trying to fight for Europe. Lacazette's playing all right in terms of form, and you can see what he gives the squad. So would it be the wisest of things? You can't have everything, and I think we're in that territory now where arguably, if Lacazette's contributions in the ways he plays and things helps us get over the line and potentially in an ideal scenario fall into a European spot, that could, I'm not saying it's better, it could be better than what you may get for Lacazette, because realistically, what fee are you going to get for Lacazette? You can't really get a decent fee in January as well, and with the fact that he's got a year left in the summer, a decent fee for at his age, with as good as he's been, signing on fee for him as well, length of contract and a transfer fee. I think we're asking a lot on a player. We're asking a lot from clubs, prospective clubs, on a player you're gonna be able to chat to him. You're gonna be able to agree a free transfer for him in 6 months. So I'm not too sure. Not too sure. The player you're talking about was Kostic, that would whip crosses constantly on a 5 pence. He also made Rebic look better than he was before his move to Milan. And to be fair, I think that's what I'm alluding to. Obviously, if I sign someone who has scored a lot of headers and I stop crossing the ball and putting them on his head, you need to judge a player on what they're about, like kind of what we don't do with Aubameyang. He's a service-reliant player. We don't really play balls in behind and all of them things. And I always used to say it's a miracle how this guy scores the goals for Arsenal. So again, I think the next step we've got to learn is whatever striker walks through the door, if they're a target man, make them have a target. Give them make them the target man. If they're quick, give them some service. I don't think we've always known the sort of player we're getting and how they're playing. It's a bit like Pepe. Pepe's a good example because anyone that was watching Pepe, you knew he wasn't going to come here and be a talisman. I make no excuses. I think he's been scapegoated at times, and there's many excuses that could be afforded to him. We know there's a lot of things Pepe frustrates and needs to do a bit better. But I think anyone that was watching him, you knew there was about 18 months that he was really 2 years max that he was really excelling, and you knew he can play in tight spaces, but he gives the ball away a lot. He plays better on the counter attack. Now, I'm not saying to become a counter attacking side, but when you don't kind of leverage them strengths, can you be surprised the player is not thriving? If you have a service reliant striker, if you have a striker that makes his own goals, then fair play, sign him. But if you have a striker that's reliant on a typical service and you don't supply him that, it's an issue, isn't it, really? And that's where I think we lose ourselves in modern football, in that, yeah, footballers have to be able to improve and do different things. But I do think sometimes people don't want to judge a player on what they're about and always trying to move guys. It's like Lukaku, Yeah, he's got things he could do better at, question marks over his game and things he does well. But the man's a bully. Play him, running at pace. He's like an NFL player. You can't stop him. He's a bully. He scores goals. Continue the bullying thing. He's gone to some clubs where they've tried not to let him be a bully. At Inter, it was a bullying thing. Some clubs, they stopped letting him do that. There's going to be issues. We're a club right now that we would sign Lukaku, and we'll probably expect him to do the Lacazette thing. And it's a myth. It's a myth sometimes, especially if we're going to spend big money on players. I just feel, yeah, you can improve them and whatnot, but to a degree, that's what they've given to the game. That's all they've ever been about. Let's just harness that and improve that. It's like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think I said it. A lot of his goals are service-reliant headers and that. I'm not saying he hasn't improved and he ain't got variety, but that's what he's about. That's why I would actually want him, because we're actually starting to score from set pieces, ironically. But suddenly, we'll probably stop scoring, How many times is Lacazette on the field, or historically he's been on the field, and we'll hit balls in behind? And then for Aubameyang, he's on the field, and we're trying to do this, make him do the playmaking thing. It's crazy, man. I can't lie. If you can get a deal, I'm for it. But I'd rather us just do our due diligence, man. I know the days are gone, but we used to make strikers, man. We used to find someone and just do a thing. Because we're actually reckless in a lot of our spending, man. If I'm completely honest with you. He ain't got too much bang for the super bucks. I'm not saying Lacazette hasn't been a good player, but has he exceeded our expectations, or have we compensated? I'm not saying, well, Pepe, I don't think he's bad, but he extremely frustrates. He definitely ain't justified that price tag. Going back to the Mustafi days, Granit Xhaka. When we've spent, listen, we've spent well now, and hopefully we've learned our lessons and we're moving away from those malpractices. But we ain't got too much bang for our buck. I love Partey. I think Partey justifies his bread. But if we judge it on what we've seen right now, and again on a harsh thing, because there's a lot of values to include and a lot of reasons. Have we got bang for that 45 million? Have we looked at that and said it's still similar to how we're looking at? And I know the players are judged differently, but Tomiyasu's walked in for a second. Ramsdale for 30 million. We definitely weren't saying that at the start, And obviously that's what Xhaka, Lacazette, Pepe, I said. I'm not even trying to be harsh, but looking at Ben White, 50 mil. I think he's a good player, but you see what I'm saying? And you don't know where I'm getting. Real football fans understand that I'm not attacking anyone. But for me, I need to see this club get bang for their buck. When we spent reckless, we haven't really seen too much return from it. No one's overperformed expectations when we spent that outlay. And as I just said them to you, no one's really done that. So it's a gazy one, man. It's a gazy one, really and truly. And there's always an element of risk, but it just seems like where Arsenal are concerned, it ain't really banging. We used to have France on lockdown. Couple wingers at the club we could make into strikers. Who? Oh, Martinelli's one. I ain't here for the Pepe debate. I can't lie to you. Definitely need a 9. proper 9, play Aubameyang on the wing, sell Laka, he doesn't score enough. Harsh. I don't think we're going to see bear of that in the summer. If we did a scouting thing for a striker, I think we bring one in. I can't see us spending 80 million euros on Donny. Going forward, given that we can't afford the top 5 strikers in the world, do you think we should focus on finding a new strike partnership of a different profile of players? Ironically, I would like, if I could, in my way, I would like to, you have your number 1 striker, that's 20 league goal man, yeah? You have a striker on the bench that if you got 20 league goal man on the bench, that's cool. But I would like someone like Lacazette. He can score a respectable amount of goals. The link up plays decent. If a madness happens, you can maneuver with him. Then in the ideal world, I would love to have, me personally, as I said, like if you imagine it, should I go on there's not even a tactic example, but just imagine 3 up front, yeah? You've got your 1 super striker, that's your goal man, that's your historical Aubameyang, right? I would personally, I know Saka's out there, but just in general, I would like 2 goal scoring wingers. If you could have an Alexis Sanchez there and Saka starts grabbing some goals, that's cool. Now, we know in our midfield, we would love some goal scorers, but I do feel when we talk about getting some goal scorers in midfield, we need to get basic competencies first. I think we need midfielders who can dictate the tempo of a game and they want it to run through them and they're able to manage out games as well. The last 10, look at them City players today against United. They obviously took their foot off the gas in the second. Just keeping the ball. No one doing nothing dumb. We're still in control of the game. We ain't got things like that. Then if we can, find balance in our team, if we can find someone that can score goals on top of all of that, for me, that's fantastic. I would love a mid, and he's a different one. If we grab the Bruno Fernandes right now, I would be on that because a goal scoring midfield. But as you see, the double whammy of that is it's going to unbalance the midfield. So if we could have these extras, it is what it is. But yeah, man, as I said, proper gunman striker, wingers contributing, ideally midfielders getting a couple numbers, but 2 gunmen on the wings, certified striker. You got someone on the bench that if a madness happens, because it's not all these guys are not, it's not always going to hit off with them. These guys, there's going to be a game where it's not working, and someone has to come off the bench and live a movie and be it as well, because there's 38 games in the league. And I don't know if that's the level I want to get to, innit? I don't know if it makes sense, but I don't like to rely on players because I know one day you're not going to be there unless you're Mo Salah or Neymar and obviously Messi and Ronaldo. You're playing to that level. I don't like to overcompensate and rely on players. I like to have a mix and bunch. Okay, we want everyone to do them things, but if you're having an off day, you're doing the thing. You can come off the bench. You might live a movie. Do you get where I'm going? So it's one of them ones for me, really. Just want goal scoring wingers, man. Hit the like button if you haven't. EG, what number 8 realistically do you want at the club? I mean, I would love to play Alwood there. I would love Bruno Guimaraes there. Off the top of my head, them. Pepe should be given a run at striker. He could flourish, and we could sell if he's not Arteta's choice. We need to create value. I hear that, but currently, with the way the things are going, would you advocate putting him in at a post of Aubameyang, at a post of Lacazette? Even if you was to say, all right, cool, we're going to do that, that means Lacazette's going to be shifted away from the team. I don't want to say forget goals about a striker anyway, but, you lose Lacazette potentially doing what he does against Douglas Luiz, pressing and Telemans as well. Aubameyang's runs that he gives you, you're going to have to shift 1 or 2 of them somewhere else. So that could unbalance and cripple the team because you start affecting the relationships with the wingers on that left-hand side. Something's got to get shifted. So would you advocate that over, getting man on the side in the case of if Smith Rowe's over there, if Pepe's on, Saka and Smith Rowe, and things like that? I don't know if we should be doing that with the fact that we're 9 games unbeaten, what we're trying to do at this moment in time. Personally, and obviously we're gonna have to double down on him, bro. Like we're gonna have to double. That's the thing. We don't double down on how Lacazette plays. We don't double down on how Aubameyang plays. I can't expect us to double down on how Pepe plays the false 9 thing. And for me, maybe it's just one of them things. Maybe Arteta considered, you know what? He can play false 9. I just want to do the Smith Rowe thing against Villarreal, but I've seen him play Willian there. I've seen him do a Smith Rowe thing there. I'm sure he's played somebody else there. I'm sure Odegaard has done a false 9. I might be capping, but I'm sure Odegaard has done something in game like that. He's done all of these things without Pepe. So if he doesn't believe in it, he's not gonna run it in it, or he's not gonna run it to his best of abilities. Think about if somebody asks you to do something at work, you might do it because you're professional, whatever. But if you don't believe in it in your heart, there's gonna you might not do the training to the best way and all of these sort of things. If I'm completely honest, I'd be open to trying it, but I'd be open to trying Martinelli through the middle before I play Pepe as a false nine, if that makes sense. But we know he's done it before at Lille under Bielsa and things like that. And someone that's a meticulous planner, allegedly like Arteta, has to have done that. So why has he not tried that? And he tried other things. I'm not too sure. Hit the like button if you haven't. Please make sure you've set your reminders for the content mania, which is tomorrow, people. Arsenal, Watford, West Ham, Liverpool, and then after we'll have a reaction live stream as well for Arsenal, Watford, because we're gonna have to go straight from Arsenal, Watford, basically to Liverpool, West Ham. And I know Josh Kroenke is gonna be coming out with an interview, so we need to be talking about that at some point. Lacazette is the only player we have sorted to play a false nine. I mean, for me, I'm only trying to hear false nine if the goals are coming from somewhere. We don't, when you got Firmino, you can afford to do stuff like that. EG, thoughts on Pepe plus cash for Osimhen at Napoli? Why not? But it's probably going to be a madness. I'm here for the Pepe at 9 debate. I hear you, lot, but I'm really not on it. To be honest, we could use that money to get a good centre mid and a striker. The scouts that used to uncover gems must have all died and retired. Bloody hell, that's harsh, man. Arsenal haven't done right by Lacazette. Lacazette is so versatile for us, and he's a leader. Fair play. Out of reach by price. No scouts, all fired. Same price, same transfers. 150 million, maybe like before. Didn't know the player status. Fair play. People will say we dropped. People say it's too much, but we dropped 70 on Pepe. Is that would cost the same? And so would Dominic Cavalier. I don't think Dominic Cavalier is costing 70 million. I think he's costing a bit more than that. I don't think Everton is going to try to pull the wool over your eyes with that one. Arsenal getting Vlahovic would be mad. He's such a talent. Liverpool want him as well, bro. You got Liverpool throughout the articles we were reading. Liverpool, Atletico, Juventus, Roma, Napoli, Inter Milan, us. Juventus. If I haven't said that, so it won't surprise. It won't. It doesn't surprise me. It won't surprise me. Should Arsenal play a false 9? That would be a timestamp. Yeah, good debate though. I think Pepe can do it, but I don't know, because it's about the relationships on the field, isn't it? For Pepe to play false nine in his best way, there's got to be a relationship with that front three, and then the midfield has to be spot on. Now, in recent weeks, Arteta is showing us a bit of that, but I don't feel the relationships on the field are quite to the level we require, if I'm completely honest with you. Still kind of relying on individual brilliance and individual moments, but that's where we're at as a squad, and that's where they're at as in terms of their experience and the rest of that jazz. Isaac or Vlahovic for me. Everton going to be plotting after the 419 scam we pulled for Iwobi. To be fair, for all our transfer shenanigans, somehow getting peace for Iwobi and Oxlade-Chamberlain, handsome fees. Someone deserves a pat on the back for that card. You was actually doing your job. He's actually doing your job. Shout out to Wenger for blooding Iwobi and making him a 35, 40 odd million quid player as well, to be fair to you. Until a deal is done, it's only speculation. Keep pushing, DG. Your progress is inspiring for many. I appreciate that. And facts, man, it is only speculation. That's what I don't know about anyone else, but I always tell you, like, all we can do is make it a talking point. When we start seeing, the Arsenal delegation in Italy, when we start seeing, yellow bars on Sky Sports, and you see private jet from Florentina to London Coley, and Arsenal fans, they'll somehow find a picture of Vlahovic wearing a scarf or wiping his face with a napkin. They'll find that napkin is from a shop in Hertfordshire, which means he's doing a madness, which means he's in the ground or tracking flights. Until you see all of that jazz, it's a myth, and as we all know, a lot of Premier League clubs, Arsenal included, they're going to just use us to get a little buzz around it and just fleece the market. And people seem to fall for it every now and again. I mean, I would love him to sign for the club because he's a good player. But beyond that, it's just sounding rather like a myth if I'm real with you lot. But we can pray, we can hope. You know, I just hope a striker comes. I'm more hopeful on a striker in the summer for what it's worth. I'm actually hoping a lot on a midfielder in January. Like I'm actually, I don't want to say expectation, but borderline expected. Like you know what whether you do it or not, I expect a midfielder in January. I just look at that and say, there's no way you can think halfway point of the season you can afford to take that risk, because right now everything is good. Everybody's fit with the exceptions of Xhaka and someone else. Tierney allegedly right now, you know, but at our worst, what's gonna happen? You know, we're a Partey injury away from a crisis, you know, and Partey's not there in January. You know, such is our luck. Touch wood, pause. Partey might probably get injured playing for Ghana. He won't even kick a ball for Arsenal. Same with El Nene, Pepe, Aubameyang. So we need to be adept to it, you know. We need to. And the best of days, with Partey fit, with Xhaka not being fit, we needed a midfielder or two in January. I mean, in the summer. So where are we at now? You know, I back Lokonga. Of course, we can try, you know, get around it with Odegaard playing there. You know, you would always hope. I think fans are pinning a lot on these young players, but you would love if a Smith Rowe, I mean, man said Smith Rowe, if Aziz comes back from his loan, or if Patino gets promoted, but then they need time to develop. They're not ready for that. But unless a movie happens or Ainsley gets an opportunity and locks it down, playing a dangerous game, people. Like for me, anyways, I just think it's a crazy game to play, especially knowing Arsenal and what we're in November now, notoriously a mad time for these things. Which players would you include in the deal to reduce the fee? The swap deal thing's a bit of a madness, but I mean, Torreira's there in it. The man wants to stay in Italy. What could be done there? You know, I'll offer you Kolasinac, but I don't think you're getting paid. You're taking the piece. Slightly, you could even offer Lacazette, but that's living fee. That's playing FIFA and whatnot. Play Pepe in the 10 role. I hear you. Would you take Van der Beek as a centre mid in January if we can get a good deal? For me, he was an 8. We should have gone for. Yeah, man. We've needed centre mids for like 2 years. Is actually mad, crazy, bro. But no one quite does it like Arsenal, innit? 130 likes, keep running it up. Very appreciative, people. Away from that, though, you know, I think Arteta's been speaking. Obviously, he's playing in his 100th game tomorrow. So let's see exactly what Mikel Arteta has had to say, folks, very quickly. I know there's been something on Arsenal.com. Find that. That's all this about. Sorry, folks, to get that up there. Share the screen with you guys. Arteta, the work-life balance as a Premier League manager. There's no such thing. He said, I think for me personally, this is what I need. I need a week's organization. So what does my week look like? That has to be very clear, because within that week, family has to be present. There are a lot of things that take a lot of time out of you that are necessary. And it's something that I've learned in the last 18 months. The time thieves are out the door. Things that are not relevant, priorities, or important, they don't have to be done today, because there's something other that I'm missing. And family time is not something that I'm willing to take away unless it's extremely necessary. And of course, he's got a young family. You're an Arsenal manager. You're a manager for bare years. You're a father for life. And at the end of the day, you know, when we've all got a date to die and things on your deathbed. I'm sure you have admiration about Arsenal and what you've done in the game and what you're going to do as a manager, but your family is what matters, in it. And you can't miss these moments because you can't get them back, man. Especially when you've got a job that takes a lot out of you, a job that you take. A lot of people take their job home with them, but managers, that if you win, of course it's great. If you lose, boy, you know, your wife might be trying to do the birds and the bees, like, boy, why did Mustafi do this? Or why isn't this and that? It's mad. But he said it's about, you know, it's about trying to be there when you are there. And sometimes that's the toughest, because you are there, but your mind is somewhere else. You have things still to process or define, or feelings that you have throughout the day, something that hasn't happened as you expected. And then be lucky and have a family that understands understands almost everything, and they have the capacity to love you unconditionally throughout this period in your life. So now that his children are getting older, does he have advice? He said they do more now. They're still young. The oldest is 12, and that's harsh, man. His son's old enough to see the criticism online of his dad. Well, that's the life he lives, but some of it goes over the top. But they do some things, and it's good opinions as well. They understand that if anything, they are supportive, and they like to talk about other things, and I love it, because our relationship is not based on what I do. It's based on the father-son relationship, which is what it should be like. I mean, does your son play for Arsenal's academy is the key question. You know, if he's not, then, boy, you know, at least he's got got famous daddy. He'll end up being something. So, yeah, man. And I think Arteta also went on to say, people, He actually went on to say a couple other things, people here as well. Let me actually bring this back up for you. I didn't know that it was in two parts. He went on to, when asked, he said, probably yes, it was brave for this to be my first job in management, but it's such a beautiful job, and the project and the people that are involved, it's worth it. It's not a risk. I think it's a situation where you have no choice. When you have such feelings like this, when you want to become a manager, when you want to manage Arsenal and do it, then you don't find any excuses about momentum, about this structure and the context. Just do it. There has to be a way. You have to find a way, and we have to find a way to do it. This is why I do give you luxuries of the context that you've taken the job and what's gone around the club. But at the same time, you've said it yourself, so acknowledge it. No one put a gun to your head to take this role, and also at the same time, I do think Arteta sees the pressure that other managers get and leveraged it. Probably only Daniel Farker has had an easier ride than Arteta in general. Because many managers this time last year could have been fired. Right now, Arteta looks like the guy. Previously, he didn't. So, that's the way, again, that's the territory he's in. He said, talking personally, the moment in my first season when I felt energized, like vitamin through my veins, is when I saw the people around me convinced. When you look at them and they say, I buy into what you're saying, I want to do it, I'm right behind you. When you see the players really trying, it can work or not. But if they're really trying and they're really engaged with what we're trying to do, that's when it gives you the energy and the conviction. And that's true. That's like me with my YouTube content. You start off and people are like, yeah, it's good, continue. It's like even right now with the FM content, people are like, oh man, keep doing it. I need to, no man, I need another episode. It's like, oh shit, you fuck with it like that. All right, cool, let's go. It's like, where if you're doing it in vain and man are not feeling it, then of course it's gonna look like a myth. So I get him with that. I really do. It gives you conviction when you lot sit here and early in we're here 11:30 almost every day, and you lot are here supporting the thing every day. That why do you think I always ask you lot? I always applaud you lot for your support. You lot think I'm just saying it. It means a lot, because they're like, all right, cool, this ain't being done in vain. If them men are feeling it and girls are feeling it, then we need to do what we're doing, isn't it? He said, I don't know when it's physically going to be, in 2 weeks, in 3 months, but we are going to get there because they're convinced. When they have that feeling, it's going to happen. I hope so, but it's not Arteta or bust where I'm concerned. It's Arsenal or bust. If you're not the guy, things have to happen, innit? And I don't want to see another repeat of last November, because quite frankly, you're lucky not to get the clip for that, people. If I'm completely honest with you, a lot of other men would have got the clip for that. For what it's worth, though, Mikel Arteta has also been bigging up Aaron Ramsdale. Well, you lot can't see it. Mikel Arteta has held the impact of Aaron Ramsdale's attitude on the Arsenal dressing room and revealed he watches clips of how the goalkeeper reacted after conceding or making errors while scouting him. Wasn't he the first? What, you got to see what Ramsdale was like firsthand? Because I remember one of your first games. I swear we played Sheffield United or Bournemouth for one of them, and Ramsdale was there. I could be capping, but I'm sure we did. Obviously, eyebrows were raised, but if you know the player's good, all we can say is that we were wrong in it. Obviously, we needed to identify where we can get better and what we're missing, or how we want to mold our experience and our leadership. And that is all obvious about personalities and the people you bring into the club. And we thought that Aaron could be very beneficial, which is true. I watched a lot of clips, and moments after he conceded a goal, making a mistake or a difficult moment, that's one of the big reasons that we made a decision to sign him, because he could cope with those. And they will happen at Arsenal. Right now, everybody loves you. No one's going to love you if you palm a shot, and you've seen it. Saka, Tini, Martinelli, Aubameyang, Lacazette. Fans rewrite history. 1 minute these guys are amazing, then they're great, which is why I always say you need the competence. If you're, obviously in his case, if you're a goalie, make sure you can hit the like button, people. If you're a goalie, make sure you can catch consistently. There's no point having a great game against Spurs if in the next week you drop a clanger. But you also need the confidence. Now, everyone can be confident when things are going right, when everyone's singing names. When it gets toxic, you've seen certain players stand up to be counted. When the world tells you you're not good enough, this is why you can never believe you're too ahead when you're winning. You can never believe you're on the floor, even when Arsenal were on the floor, So I think he'll be able to connect well, and it's nice to see he's quickly become a fan favorite. Well, I'd say one of the favored personnel. Fan favorite for me is in the, you're touching Jack Wilshere and Aaron. Well, Aaron Ramsey's probably above a fan favorite, but you're touching them sort of territories. You need to do a lot more than that. But in comparison to the current squad, clearly, connection is the right word. Connection brings unity and brings a different kind of vibration between fans and players, and it's very necessary. Aaron is capable of transmitting that in a natural way. His competitiveness as well on the pitch brings the crowd to a different level because of his desire to win. This is the mentality that we need. when you have experience with Leno over the last few years, who he is as a person, I didn't have any doubts. This is obviously in relation to the friction, and we don't owe Leno nothing. He's disappointed, and he should be disappointed because he wants to play and he's used to playing well. Make yourself play again. Ramsdale had to bide his time on the bench. Be ready. If Ramsdale F's up, take the spot back. But at the same time, what he needs to do is raise his level. He's going to raise Aaron's level. And if Aaron is performing really well, a big part of that is because Leno is next to him, trying to help him, trying to support him, and trying to make him a better goalkeeper. That's exactly what we want. And that's what we want as well. I don't want no one to be happy on the bench. You know, I want you to be vexed. But whether you are vexed is another thing. And why Arsenal signed Ramsdale. That's that. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done such already. Appreciate that. It's really good for Arsenal to sign a striker, another striker to keep form going. You know what I mean. Like any chance of Patino filling the gap for us, DG. Know you follow the youngsters via your opinion. It will happen. But I mean, filling a gap for me, you know, I look at it. Yeah, he could travel up and down the country and barely play, grab a 10 minutes here and there. I think he's technically he's ready, but obviously speed of thought, when, you know, the pace of when things are happening, you know, he's never gone through that. So he's going to need to go through that. And if you're asking me, you know, again, I want the conditions to be a bit better, because if he's thrown in right now, loses the ball against Watford, people are not going to care that as much as they say it, they're not going to care that he's a young player. They're going to say, boy, we lost ground. We got Liverpool next. We got, you know, these things are happening, that thing's happening. And filling a squad gap for me means if something happens, are you going to be thrown in? And I think he'd be able to cope, but it's not fair, really and truly. You're going to have to take the opportunities. I think he's definitely getting to the level where he could be involved, but I think there's a couple ones and twos to work on. Technically, he's there, but it needs to just be it's probably not the best time for not just him, a lot of young players right now. Zaha for me, DG. I mean, Phil, you're never going to give up. Sorry if you already talked about it, but is Vlahovic any good in terms of replacing Lacazette, and will he be able to replicate his playing style? I don't think he's like Lacazette at all. He can, you know, he can do the general plating, but he's not going to be like Lacazette. He's completely different, in my opinion. And that shouldn't be a bad thing. You know, should not be a bad thing. Rafael, Lautaro Martinez, Icardi, none of them are world-class strikers. Very good strikers, but the term world-class is being used very loosely there, broski, with respect. If I'm honest with you. Which is a bit crazy. So it's one of them ones, man. What's going on there? Fuck, you know. It's weird, YouTube giving me a alert about that. 80 mil for Icardi, they're moving mad. But we probably need to take a chance on, well, not Icardi, but these strikers before they branch out. You know, you take a chance on someone like Vlahovic a year ago. Where could we be? You know, educated risks. If I'm honest with you, but you get the point. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything else where Arsenal's concerned, people. So, yeah, where that's concerned, I'm going to let you lot get out of here, people. There seems to be nothing else where Arsenal are concerned. That being said, as I said, people, just before you get out of here, tomorrow is a big day because we're going to have 3 live streams. We're going to react to the Arsenal-Watford game. We're going to watch the Arsenal-Watford game. In between that, we're going to be talking We're going to be watching West Ham-Liverpool. So, yeah, make sure you're there at 4 p.m. for West Ham-Liverpool as well. Look, here we go. First things first. Again, make sure you're here for that. And then the next one, obviously the big one tomorrow, make sure you're here for that. Set your reminders, hit the like button, do all of those sort of things, people. Let me not take up any more of your Saturday. Let you lot enjoy it, people. One love to everyone that's been in this live stream. One love to everyone who's been at the other live stream, which was earlier, where we watched Man City versus Man United. You know, you lot stay safe. We'll buck up tomorrow, and it is what it is. Always is that.
actually went mad and defended.
I think it's like.